Right. What's behind you is my pet rat here, basically. His name's Cedric, and he's, like anyone at Tank Schools, worked himself to death. So, but apart from that, Cedric likes to play around with this large lump of machinery here, which is a main battle tank. It's what you'd all imagine to be as a tank when you have those tank fantasies of like wanting to park, and someone beats you to a parking space. Let's start off, we'll talk about tanks, okay? So what constitutes a tank? Basically three things. It needs to be tracked, armoured, and capable of carrying a weapon. 1, 2, 3. If you've got those three things, then you've got a tank. I think, you know, they want to be about, they want to be working. It's like, you know, all, you know, the days of museums just being, you know, there's something behind a wire rope and it's covered in dust and you know it wouldn't work and hasn't worked for the past sort of 60 years, you know, that's a bit sad, you know. I mean, if you look at like steam trains, you know, the idea is, you know, you want to see the thing working, don't you, and hear it, you know, the whole thing come alive. And it's the same with a tank, you know, it's an amazing machine, and when it is running, comes alive, it's, you know, it's like goes exponential, the experience of being around it, as opposed to seeing it as a lump. That's a huge tall order because obviously it's a highly complex piece of military equipment, you know, that was operated by an army at, you know, with all the spares and, you know, the expense, you know, whatever they want to throw at it, whatever the country wants to throw at it. So if you're trying to keep a tank running, well, it's not quite analogous to having a private space shuttle, but it's heading in that direction, isn't it? You know, so it's a big ask. Well, as you can see, you know, all these vehicles, it's always work in progress. Okay, and this is a good example. Bits lying everywhere and what have you. This is iconic to me. I never thought I'd ever get hold of one of these because this is a very, very rare vehicle to own privately. And this is the Humvee. Some people are going to say, oh, it's a Hummer. So I go, no, come here, I'll go clip round the ear roll. No, it's a Humvee. The Hummer is a civilian version. The likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger has the Hummer. Tank School has the Humvee. You know, it's chalk and cheese. Sometimes, you know, they're bought privately. Sometimes it's sort of like governmental sort of level of things. And then there's various other, you know, means of acquiring things. But I suppose, I think the tank down the bottom I bought off eBay. They're all love-hate because they all drain phenomenal resources, you know. There's more of my blood and DNA in this vehicle and all the vehicles, you know, and spilt on this floor here than I care to admit. I mean, great when it's working, but none of them work for that long. They always go bang and break, and then you're hunting around for another Scrodget. It's French. It's oldish. So all the bits that were in existence for a truck like this, you know, probably been thrown into a scrap heap somewhere in I don't know, Toulouse or whatever, probably 20 years ago. So, you know, they wouldn't be any good anyhow. So you're going to have to use whatever resourcefulness you've got and try and get the thing to work on whatever you can, you know. It's got 6 wheels, 1, 2, 3. Amazingly, it's got 3 on the other side as well. It tends to fall over otherwise. And they all drive, so, you know, it's a great bit of kit. But it's a labour of love, because to keep this running, I've had to rebuild this and fettle that and paint this and re-engineer this, that and the other. Otherwise you end up with a big, very heavy doorstop. It's just as cool as hell. I take this on the road and I drive this, and it's such fun. It's fantastic. Again, you can drive down the road, you don't have to, everyone's very polite to you. Strange, I don't know why. Why would they be so polite to you when they're in this, you know, 26-ton truck? I've just got some bits of scrap iron here that normally chucked away in the skip, and I'm going to modify them basically and turn them into a step.
So it's easy to get the parts for these sort of vehicles?
It's not easy. It's not difficult. It's probably something between difficult and impossible. You know, you can't get anything for it. You know, that's the trouble. So you can see the size of it. It's massive. It's a complicated machine as well. No, you can't get anything. It's 40 years old. It's, you know, I can't even get an oil filter for it. So it's amazing though what we've managed to do. So I've got the suspension rebuilt with some old bits of drain pipe. People say to me, how fast does it go? And I said, well, you know, 60, maybe 70 on a good day. What? It'll never do 60, 70 miles an hour. No, I didn't say miles per hour. 60 or 70 cars behind me. 50 cars behind you. And you know you're having a good day. It's not a question of just unbolting something and bolting it back on, a new bit back on. This is slightly different because this is not a standard thing that's on the truck. So I'm doing this just simply because it's physically getting in and out of it. You break your leg and that's the end of the whole story, because then you're not going to be rebuilding anything, are you? You know? Probably isn't at the moment. Like that. It's back to the drawing board. So it's another love-hate thing, because it's never working properly, and when you're using it, and if you've got people around and they're using it, they can enjoy it a bit more than you. But when it comes to your own pleasure, you're always looking at and thinking, what's going to go bang, what's going to break next? So it's a mixture. It's a mixture of the parts of it can be quite pleasurable. Usually it's the end of a day and you put the tank away in the shed and it's been a successful day. Then, you know, that you derive pleasure out of that. This is a tank I took down the road the other night into Usk in the middle of the snow at midnight. Not because I had to, because, you know, just a cool thing to do. On my own, just myself, and the snow drifts, you know, with the blizzard happening. It's great fun. You all got to get yourselves a tank.